Hey pretty people, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how I edit my pictures for Instagram. For starters, I am not a professional, I am not a super influencer, but I do take pride in my photos, and a lot of people think I use like a professional camera all the time to take my pictures, or that I do like actual photo shoots. But no, for the most part, I take pictures in my house or with my iPhone when I do go out. This video is going to include what I use to take my pictures, the apps I use. If you're interested in getting to know more about that, keep on watching. I like to use my iPhone to take my pictures. So here I have my iPhone 11. I recently got this phone in January, and let me tell you, I like love it. The camera is literally like a real life camera inside a phone. You can do so much things with it. Like the quality is like bomb AF, and I always use my iPhone. I sometimes use my camera that I'm filming with right now, but I haven't used that in a while. So we're just gonna talk about my iPhone. If you guys are interested in seeing a video on how you take your photos yourself, let me know in the comments below, and I could get a video like that done for you, because I also usually take my pictures on my own if I don't go out. This video is going to be strictly just how I edit my photos, just for the sake of time and for making this video appropriate length. I'll be sharing my screen with you guys so that way you can see what I'll be doing on my phone while I edit my photos. So let's get started. So let's just go into my photos. Okay, so I already took my photos a few days ago. So I'm gonna just choose one that I want to edit. I want to choose a good one for you guys. For the sake of this video, we're just gonna use this one. So sometimes I like to edit on my actual like camera roll. So with the iPhone 11, I don't know if other iPhone generations have this feature, but you could actually edit on your actual camera roll. So for instance, I took this picture, and I don't think this is portrait mode. I usually take my pictures in portrait mode, and if it's not in portrait mode, I like to use flash. Like if it's like an onward photo, I usually use flash. In this picture, I didn't put flash, and this is not portrait mode. It's just normal daylight. And I also have a ring light that I use just to brighten up the environment. So that's why it looks a little bit brighter. So I'm just gonna go in and edit. So you could always press like auto, and it kind of edits the auto button edits your photo automatically, but I don't like to do that because I specifically like my photos edited in a particular way. So you could edit like your exposures. So for example, like this, if I wanted to make it like a little bit brighter, I can make it darker. I feel like that's fine, so I'm just gonna leave that. And so you can make it brighter. I'll make it a little bit brighter because I use other apps as well. Highlight, it just highlights a little bit in certain areas. We're just not going to use that. Shadows makes it darker, lighter. Don't think we're going to use that. Contrast makes it darker as well. So yeah, there's like a lot of different things that you guys could play along with, and like you could change like put a filter on it, all that stuff. And also like you could edit like if you want to crop your image, or even if you feel like your image was like a little bit lopsided, and you want to like straighten it out, there's an option there that you could click that allows you to straighten it out. So this photo is fine, or like if I did think it was like lean, I would press an option and then it could like straighten it out. It's kind of awkward to explain, but once you guys get a picture and you see like the background's kind of like off centered, you could use that option and do that edit. Okay, so now that I have this photo that I want to edit, I'm gonna just favorite that so I know that's the picture we're gonna be working with. I'm gonna switch apps. So in my iPhone, I already organized where everything goes. So this is my photography app, photography box on my phone, so that way I know everything I need for photography and editing is like in one area. So I like to use Facetune. It's a very popular app for a lot of influencers, and you do have to pay for it. However, I feel like it is a good investment. I have Facetune for over maybe probably 2 years already, so I paid for it once. It was like maybe $5 or less at the time when I purchased it, and yeah, like it's great. I love it. I use it on every single photo most of the time, unless my photo doesn't need it. But yeah, I'm gonna show you guys how I use it. So these are my favorite photos. So when I take pictures, I like to take a bunch just so I have options, but sometimes I have too many options. So in order to weed them out, I favorite the ones that I feel like made the cut, so that way it's easy for me to locate them in my phone. So here is the one that we just was working on. So this is the picture we are working on. The only things I like to use in this app is the smooth, smooth, detailed, and patch. Sometimes I use tones, but I'm gonna go through those with you guys. So I like to start off with smoothing. So with the smoothing option, you see like this is my face with no edit or nothing. So with smooth, like I just like to go over areas where I feel like it might be uneven. I might have like some lines like under my eyes or like certain bags in areas. So like I like to smooth that out. You could do it like on the normal setting, and then they have like a more extreme setting, but this one makes your face look like way too edited. So I like to stay away from that unless I'm doing like extreme edits. See what I mean? Like it's way too smooth if I show you guys. So it looks like way too unnatural. So I don't like to do that. We're just gonna cancel that out. And then I'm gonna smooth, yeah. So I'm gonna just use the natural smoothing. Just, this picture doesn't really need that much smoothing done to it. So I'm gonna just touch it up a little in areas. And then I also like to smooth my body because I have like some marks I don't like. So I get rid of those. I don't get rid of all of them because I still want to look a little bit natural. See, and then you have this button here that you guys could click, and then you guys could like see if you like that edit and before and after. And yeah, like I smooth out here. And then see how my armpit is kind of dark? I smooth that out. Just zoom in a little more closer so you can get more precise editing done. I smooth that area out so that way it doesn't look as bad. And that's pretty much it for smoothing. Sometimes if I have wrinkles in my clothing, I like to use Smooth 2 to like smooth it out. So once that's done, I click the check mark and then I move on to the next thing. So like for me, I really like when things pop and stand out. So I'm gonna use the detail app. With the detail, I like my features to stand out the most. So sometimes I smooth my lips too. I need to go over that again because like I don't like to see the cracks in my lips. I like to detail my eyebrows. but not too much because sometimes it's too harsh. So like you gotta erase a little bit. And then like I like to highlight my highlighted area and my eyes and my jewelry. If I'm wearing a necklace, if I'm wearing earrings, I like to highlight those areas. And then my hair, I want it to be more defined. So then I will go over it with detail. For my clothing, sometimes I want it to show more texture. So like I'll go over it with the detail option. Like that. So this is how it looks. And see how my face is a little bit too detailed on my cheekbone? I don't really like that. So I'm just gonna go erase some of that. So that way it's a little bit more soft. Okay. Alright, so another thing that I like to edit out is my background. So sometimes I have things on my wall that I don't like. For example, like these mirrors on the step. I don't want that in my pictures. So this is a little bit difficult. It's kind of like patience and time. But for that, you use patch. You're going to just choose the area of the wall that you want to replicate. And then you're just going to place it over the image, the item that you're going to like cover. So I'm covering the mirror, so I'm going to patch this side of the wall. Sometimes it could be a little bit tricky because the wall could be a different color from the area you're actually like replacing. So you kind of have to play along or play around with the editing. So, and you see how like my shadow's in that? I don't really want to catch my shadow because it's going to look funny if I do that. So I try my best while I'm taking photos not to take it in like any awkward areas, so that way editing is not as difficult for me because no one got time to sit down and edit all those out. So for the most part, it's gone. It looks good. However, it still looks kind of not seamless. So I'm gonna just go over it with the smooth option. I'm gonna use the double smooth and just smooth it out a little. So once that's smoothed out, you could still see it in the corner, right? So I'm just gonna keep going back and forth with the patch, and then I'm also gonna use the tone option. So here, tone comes in handy because tone, you could choose what colors you want to paint the wall with pretty much. So I'm going to use the picker. The picker is going to pick the color that I am going for. So I just click on the wall area and then I'm going to press tone. I'm going to zoom in a little bit and I'm going to lightly like brush the wall. You see how that looks a little bit more seamless compared to how it was before, because I colored it with the actual wall color. So if you want to look at the before, this is how it looked before, and then this is how it looks after overall. Of course, you're going to get rid of the other ones at the top as well, or you could just kind of crop that out, but it might crop out my head. And we don't want that, so I am going to go back in with patch. These ones are a little bit easier because it's not that much that we're going to be covering. Oops. There. So that's how that looks. I see a little bit of one up here. I don't want to show. I'm gonna paint that a little bit. It's a little more seamless. Okay, great. So that's how this looks now. Sometimes I do go in with my defocus and I blur the back so it's a little bit more natural looking. And for the most part, I feel like this is done. You could also brighten up your photo on this app as well. You can make it bright, you can make it darker, depending on what your picture is and what edits you're going for. I'm gonna just leave it at original because I'm gonna use another app. I also like to define my tattoo a little bit so that way you can see. So yeah, go ahead and save that photo, and then we're going to slide over to Instagram. So on my actual Instagram, we are going to pull up the photo we just edited. I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I don't want the top of the stairs to be showing. Here I go to edit. I don't put any filters on my photos. We're just gonna brighten it a little bit. So I put it at 11. I don't really do extreme edits on this just because I don't want it to look too unnatural. I like to use contrast usually, and I put a little bit and then I skip over to shadows. I like to make my photos a little bit more on the darker, warmer side. So it's usually contrast, shadows, highlights that are my favorites to use. So that is how we get this photo. So I'm gonna show you guys in the next screen the before and after of my picture so that way you can see how it looks, like the difference. And I will also show you guys another photo that I edited previously just so you guys can see a little bit more details. That is how I edit my Instagram photos. If you aren't already, please go and follow my Instagram page. I pretty much post on Instagram like every day, like even if it's just in my story. I'm really active on there, and I would love it if you guys would follow me on that. If you have any more questions about editing photos, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to answer your questions, comments, concerns. But since we're on quarantine and lockdown, I haven't been out, so I just decided to show you guys how I edit my pictures. And if you guys are interested in getting another video on how I take my photos at home during quarantine, please let me know and I could try to get that filmed and pushed out for you guys. Hope you guys found this video very informative and interesting and that you guys learned something from it. So if you did, please give this video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to other party people you know, and until next time, party people, adios.